Hi, welcome to a new video. If you are new here, my name is Amandine and I've been living in Singapore for almost 5 years now. And on this channel, I like to share about anything that's happening in Singapore. Today we are going to discuss what you should avoid doing in Singapore and what you must do in Singapore. I've narrowed down the list to 10 situations that you will most likely encounter and that you most likely don't know to keep things interesting. So let's get started with the don'ts. Don't litter. Littering is strictly prohibited in Singapore and can result in hefty fines. So dispose of trash in the designated bins and help keep the public spaces clean. Sometimes it might be hard to spot some bins outside. Know that in MRT station there is no bins at all. If you enter the station with something that you want to throw, most likely you are going to keep it until the end of your ride. So be mindful of that and throw it first before entering the MRT station. Often the trash are going to be located outside of the MRT station. Otherwise, you can find bins nearby bus stops and malls. Don't smoke in public areas. Smoking is allowed at designated smoking facilities, often signaled in red or yellow and away from the public site. So it could be behind trees, behind buildings. So if you are a smoker, look for those in Singapore to avoid being fined. Don't jaywalk. Always use designated pedestrian crossing and obey traffic sign when crossing the road. Now, that being said, the actual offense is not using a pedestrian crossing while being 50 meters of it. So if you are not seeing any pedestrian crossing and if there isn't anything that is preventing you from crossing, you are actually fine. Don't eat and drink in station and trains. Eating and drinking in station and trains is prohibited. This is most likely to keep the place clean. To me, this rule is the most difficult to keep, especially concerning drinking. If I just bought a bubble tea and the ice is melting, I will want to drink it so much. But just plan accordingly, and anyway, your ride is often less than 30 minutes, so it's not a big deal. Don't steal. This one seems obvious, but let me explain. First, plucking or picking of fruits or flowers on public land is prohibited in Singapore. All the outdoor trees and flowers are property of Singapore National Park, so you cannot just collect those. It's an offense. And also, if you find something left behind that doesn't belong to you, you have to bring it to some authority. So if you find something in the bus, bring it to the bus driver. They are gonna put it in some lost and found cart. Because if you keep it for yourself, it's also an offense. Be it a bag or just money on the floor. There are CCTVs in most places, so if someone were to report something missing, they will definitely catch you and you're gonna have problems, so just avoid doing that. That was for the don't, what you shouldn't do in Singapore. Now we can discuss the do, what you should do in Singapore. Flush your toilet. Even though Singapore has a lot of automatic systems, you have to make sure that your toilet is correctly flushed before exiting. It's actually punishable, but beyond that, it's also more comfortable for the next person. We are so lucky to have well-maintained public toilet in Singapore, so just do your part and double check when you go out. Do ask for permission before taking photos, especially when you are taking photos of some restricted buildings and also people. Singapore is a beautiful city and there are so many tourists, so there are a lot of pictures being taken every day of Singapore. But if you are going to some restricted area, you might not be allowed to take some pictures, so just ask first. And when you are taking pictures of people, it's just a matter of privacy and respect, so just ask first. Do learn some local phrases. English is the most widely spoken language in Singapore, but it will enhance your experience if you are learning some local phrases in Malay, Tamil or Mandarin. Singaporean will definitely appreciate your effort in connecting with them, and also you will be able to relate to the local culture way more. Do respect cultural norms and traditions. Singapore is a melting pot of various ethnicities and religions. Always be respectful of the different customs. Few things that you can take note of: take your shoes off when entering homes and some traditional shops. You will often see a pile of shoes at the entrance to signify this. It's a sign of respect and also help keep the premises clean. When visiting some religious site, dress modestly, so cover your shoulders and knees. And something more light-hearted, you can call elderly uncle or auntie. It's a sign of respect and also shows that you understand the culture in Singapore. And overall, just be open-minded. Do be civilized, and by that I mean maintain a queue. Singaporean value order and will definitely not appreciate if you are skipping the queue. Whether it's for boarding public transport or ordering food, just join the queue and be patient. Mind your volume. Keep your conversation at a moderate level, especially in public areas like MRT station, buses and trains. Excessive noise can be seen as being disrespectful, and it's also good to be considerate of others around you. And that's it for my tips on what to do and what to avoid while in Singapore. I hope this insight will help you have a smoother and more enjoyable stay in Singapore. Remember, when in doubt, you can just ask. Singaporeans are most often friendly and willing to help. And if you are here in Singapore for the long term and you are looking for a guide on how to live and work in Singapore, make sure that you are checking out my ebook New to Singapore. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.